This is Larry.
And I'm Arnisa. Welcome to the Short Talk Podcast, where we take long conversations about love, relationships, and everything in between and make them
short. All right, everybody. Today is our second episode. We're excited to be here again. You excited, baby?
I am. Welcome back, y'all.
Yeah, because we got a lot of good feedback about the first episode, so we thank you guys, all our fans coming out, just, showing us support, liking our posts on Instagram, TikTok, all that. But this episode is about the dating phase. So what you think about dating? What's your point of view about dating?
So, in my opinion, dating is when you're basically getting to know somebody, just learning their background, seeing what type of goals they have, what they look forward to in their future as far as career-wise, if they want a family and all those things. But basically, to me, just getting to know somebody.
Yeah, it definitely, I think when you date someone, you definitely kind of put a stamp on it. It's no playing games, no, I don't know, let me think about it. Nah, it's basically two people coming together and basically deciding that you're going to be together, you're going to be a couple. There's no 1 foot in, 2 feet in at this point.
Right. So one of the things we're going to talk about in this episode, to piggyback off of our last episode, we kind of brought in the idea of dating and how important dating is. So we're going to talk about how we met and go from there. So maybe you want to talk about our first initial encounter?
Well, we met at a kickback. I think it was my partner at the time. He wanted to get with this particular female and see what's going on, maybe try to play some cards, just chill. And he, of course, asked her, did she have a friend? Which is,
of course,
this chick.
Right.
And basically picked them up, came back to the crib. We played a little spade, just had a real good time. I had a great time getting to know her at the time. And it was definitely a cool meetup.
I think so. It was funny because out of all things he asked me first, he asked me if I wanted some Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I used to be the king of Kool-Aid back then.
Yeah, it's still kind of the king of Kool-Aid. We just don't drink it as much, but yeah. He asked me if I wanted Kool-Aid, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take some Kool-Aid. And we kind of like played some spades, and if you know spades, if you know, you know. And they can kind of determine if you want to get in a relationship with somebody, I guess.
Yeah, by playing cards over a card game, a spade game, it can get kind of intense.
Right.
But, at the same time, we had a pretty good time. So after all that, and she was about to leave, I wasn't even going to ask her for a number, right? I was just going to let her just walk right out of my life, right, at that moment. And my partner was like, maybe you should ask her for a number, like that. And she overheard him say that. And she was sort of came all like, don't ask me for my number if you ain't going to use it. Just aggression, right? Just
right off
whoa,
the bat.
Like, to bag up a little bit, like. But of course, I asked her for it. I was planning on using it, but she ended up calling me first.
Right. So, like Larry said, I ended up calling him first. I remember specifically because it was like 4th of July weekend. And he said he was like going home to kind of spend time with his family for the holiday. And I remember it being 4th of July for me. I had nothing to do, completely bored. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to just call this dude, just see what he up to for the day. And so I called and reached out to him. And we ended up talking on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, we talked and had a real good conversation. A lot of laughs. I definitely remember that. And, it was, I never met a woman that could make me laugh as much as I made other people laugh. And she definitely made me laugh like she still do to this day. Say the silliest stuff. And yeah, it was that kind of what kind of kicked it for me.
Yeah, and I think our humor definitely take us a long way. We definitely had a lot of similarities. Like, we were very into movies a lot. We talked about a bunch of movies. We definitely both are into music. One of the top things that we really love together is music.
Yeah, music was definitely one thing still to this day. We listen to a lot of music. I make a lot of music. So it was definitely sort of like a thing that bridged us together. We had a lot in common with how we thought, lifestyle wise and goals for ourselves. So it was definitely kind of hit it all right from the jump. It was no kind of like second guessing it at all.
No, we definitely hit it off from the jump, I would say. So, to play off the back of that, how did you feel about me being the aggressor?
You know what? It kind of didn't bother me. You know, I'm a firm believer that a person wants something, they go after. Even for women, if you're a woman and you feeling someone, you should definitely go after them.
Yeah, because some women, you know, they have an issue with being the aggressor or being the one to call first, especially if a guy asks for their number. But although my intention was for him to call me first, I just got the itch to go ahead and call him first. So I think it kind of played out well, and I think it was a good balance.
Yeah, it definitely was a good balance. She's more aggressive in a lot of things anyway. I'm more of a laid-back type person. Anybody know me, I'm laid-back and quiet and certain. I normally kind of peep the scene before I get too much out there, but she's more of the aggressive and everything, you know. And you know, that one thing I liked about it too from the jump, she wasn't afraid to kind of let me know how she felt about me. She kind of just like put it out there, like, you know, call me, I like you, you know, what we doing this weekend. You know, it was kind of like very, you know, not aggressive, but very straightforward.
On what I wanted,
yeah.
So another thing was too, I wanted to know from you is, what did you think about me, like initially, like just initially seeing me without me saying anything to you? What was your like actual first thought when you saw me?
Well, you know, the first time I saw you, you know, you had your braids in your head, you know, cornrows straight to the back like a jig out of the pen, you know. And I was like, whoa, like, what, she just got in a fight or something? I'm like,
right.
You told me that you had just got off vacation. But initially I thought you were cool, you know, brown skin, melanin queen, popping.
That's me.
Yeah, you know,
always popping.
Yeah, melanin popping that day. Sun didn't even help you out. It was just all you.
I need it.
But definitely was feeling you. I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying, just your vibe. Like I said, your vibe was just crazy, just funny.
Spot on.
And definitely, you know, didn't miss. You hit your mark that day.
Okay.
What was your initial reaction to me? Was I kind of shy? I didn't know, because you know what I'm saying, I'm always nervous from the jump. So how did I come off? Did I come off kind of like?
I felt like you were definitely kind of shy. I feel like you're definitely one of them people that until people get to know you, you come off very quiet, kind of shy.
That's true.
Most of the time you're just observing the situation. So I think that's what you were doing, but it did come off kind of shy. But the more the night progressed, you were throwing out a bunch of jokes, being very funny, very but you had really good manners, and that was a plus for me. I felt like you had good manners, and that's kind of hard to find sometimes.
Well, you know, it's a lot of people have told me in the past that I have this look about me, right? Mm-hmm. A look that make it seem like I'm unapproachable,
right?
I'm mean, but I'm not. Once you get to know me, I'm not.
Right.
And sometimes people say the same thing about you.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So my question to you is, how do you think? And I'm just asking you as a woman, how do you think for a woman can you open yourself up to be more approachable from men?
I think so. A lot of times women get in their head a lot about their own feelings and about what they want out of a guy, and it's always good to have aspirations or goals and about what you want from a guy, but at the same time I think it's very important to be approachable and not always be so closed-minded and so shut off, because a lot of times we can get very shut off very quick and not even give a person an opportunity to even get to know us. So it's very important to be approachable, and it doesn't hurt if someone is hey, how you doing, to say it back. Sometimes women just be I ain't talking to you, he ain't got nothing I want, but you haven't even taken time to get to know the person. Yeah,
you definitely can't come off. And sometimes some women just think sometimes that if a man gives you a comment, he trying to holler at me, and it's not even like that majority of the time. Sometimes dudes will give you a comment, and just to give you a compliment,
right?
Okay, you looking good.
Right.
You know, you can't always be so standoffish thinking that somebody trying to holler at you, because then you paint the picture that you are unapproachable by doing that. And I feel like you should definitely like fill it out the first 10 seconds, and then you can kind of depict on what you want to do and how you want to take it from there.
Right. I definitely agree with you on that. So next we're gonna kind of go into like what led up to our first date. So after I called him and we talked, I want to say it was about maybe 2 weeks later when we saw each other again. But during that time we would text each other. We would call each other because at the time we were both in school. I was going to school full time, and so was Larry. So we would just kind of text each other, check up on each other. Nothing like really serious at all.
Nah, it was definitely keeping great contact with each other and stuff like that. And I know you was working at the time, so sometimes I used to come see you. But our very first date, we went to the movies. You remember what movie we saw?
Batman. Oh man, which one is it? Batman Forever? Was that it?
Whoa, that's no. Nah, that was Dark Knight. We went to see the Dark Knight.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was a Batman movie.
It was a Batman movie.
I do remember that.
But you know, you talking about Batman Forever. But yeah, that was the older movie.
Right,
way
the Dark
back.
Knight.
But there was the Dark Knight when it first came out. We went to see it, and at the time, I didn't have no job. I wasn't working at all. I was just mainly in school, just working because my parents didn't really want me to get a job because they thought it'd take away from, you know, me studying and all that. So she paid for it. She paid for everything the first date, which was another thing. I was like, whoa, like, you know, most women be like, you know, this dude broke. I ain't finna go out. You know, I gotta pay for everything. And she paid for it, you know. Of course, you know, the next couple of dates I paid for it, but the first date she actually paid for it.
I did pay for the first date, and I want to know, like, how did that make you feel for a woman to pay for the first date? Because women always expect men, not always, but majority of women always expect the man to pay for the first date. But since you didn't have a job, me personally, I just felt like it was unfair to have you pay for a date, knowing like your funds may have been low. So I was okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, you knew my situation at the time, so it was like, how is she gonna feel? Like, this is not gonna be a routine. I put that in my mind. You know what I'm saying? This is not gonna be a routine where we go out, she gonna pay for everything. Like, you know, it was the first date. She wanted to spend time with me. I wanted to spend time with her. I didn't have no money. She had money. So it was like, okay, she paid for it, and it's like, to me, that was cool. If she was cool with it, I was cool with it.
Right.
And for people out there that think it's a problem, you know, you have your own standards. Nobody can tell you what your standards are.
Right.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes, you know, a man, you know, the man, you know, supposed to lead, supposed to pay.
Right.
But sometimes a man is in a situation where you can't pay.
Right.
And then it basically it falls in your hands whether y'all gonna be able to spend time or not.
I think it's very important to be open-minded.
Yeah. Because
people do go through their own different situations. So I think it's good from a woman's standpoint to sometimes to just be open-minded and just be okay with maybe making certain adjustments to your standards and your goals that you want from a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just be open-minded. It's okay to be open-minded because that open-minded could lead you to somewhere else in that relationship that maybe you didn't even expect for it to go. Yeah,
and not to take away of just listening to what we saying. Now, on the other side of that, it is some bums out there that will take advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
That where your common sense and your character, your choice of character comes in. Right. You know if a person is very sincere. You know when a person is really trying to take advantage of you.
Right.
You have to basically like use your, you know, your judge of character really comes into play.
Right. So, with that being said, we just continued on dating for a while and just still getting to know each other. So, after that, you know, Larry had some situations with school, so he ended up having to move back home. And his home from my home is 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a 2-hour drive.
So, it came to a decision where we had to decide if we wanted to make this relationship official and be a long-distance couple, or if we wanted to just like remain friends.
Yeah, I think, you know, it was definitely a decision that we kind of played around with for about a week or so, and we decided that look, we're gonna still do this. You know, we still gonna be together. We just have to make it work how we can. So what I used to do, I used to come down about every 2 weeks on the weekend, spend the whole weekend with her.
Right.
And, you know, we go shopping, do all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so I can make sure that we spend time, you know what I'm saying? Right. I was the one that would mostly come to see her because I knew she had a lot of stuff going on. And so I was just working, staying back home. So I used to come and see her back and forth every 2 weeks. It never fails. Every 2 weeks, she used to come back and forth and see her. And sometimes she used to come and see me.
Well, and I was just about to say, like, for a while, I didn't have a car at all.
Yeah.
So it meant a lot for him to come and see me on the weekends because I didn't have a car. And for him to drive 2 hours, spend a whole weekend with me, and pay for everything, although we were both working, we would still make time for each other. And I still do this to this day. I would like kind of plan out our little dates or try to do something fun that maybe we haven't done before or done in a long time. And that would kind of keep our relationship fresh at the time because it was kind of difficult being long distance from each other. So, and that can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can. So let me ask you, was it ever a time in a long distance relationship did you feel like, oh man, this become a little too much for me? Like I bit all more than I can chew with this long distance thing. Because we was in a long distance relationship for about 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time I felt like that. I want to say maybe about a year after the relationship because you know me, I'm a quality time person. So I'm really big on quality time. And because our quality time was only, you know, limited to the weekend, at first it was fine. But once we was getting deeper and deeper into the relationship, I wanted to be with my man more often. I wanted to be with him all the time. So for me, that part started to get difficult.
Yeah, it definitely started getting difficult. You know, especially when I started working, I went from working part-time to working full-time. Then, you know, still having to, you know, help my parents out with, you know, with stuff around the house and stuff. And then trying to make time with her. And, you know, definitely was a struggle at first. I got used to it, but I knew it couldn't be like that for long. You know, moves had to be made. Like, look, you know, we been doing it for a while. When we gonna move in together? Like, but we're gonna talk more about that next episode.
Right.
Yeah, but
yeah. So, you know, after going, you know, on and on for about a year or so, before we even got to a year, we both found that it was important to like meet each other's family because we're very family oriented people and we're close with our family, so we wanted to make sure we like meet each other's family just to kind of see how each other would vibe with the other person's family.
Yeah, because, you know, one thing about meeting each other's families, you know, your family been knowing you all your life.
Right.
You've been knowing them. And if you love them and, you know what I'm saying, their opinion somewhat matters in the first beginnings.
It matters.
Initially, it's your choice, but if this person can come around your family and make an impression and if the family can see through the BS and be like, okay, like this person is legit, then that means a lot to that person.
Right. And you just, to me, you don't want to, obviously, you don't want to take anybody around your family that's going to be disrespectful and not, like, get along with them because they're just going to create tension. Even though at the end of the day, you know, while you're dating, it kind of don't matter. But then when you get married, you're marrying into that person's family. So now their family now becomes your family.
Yeah.
So to me, it's important to make a really good impression on the person's family.
Yeah. Do you remember when you met my family?
I do remember when I met your family. Matter of fact, I remember telling Larry on the phone, like, I want to say a couple of days before I was due to go meet his family, I was like, man, I had like the craziest dream that like I came to meet your family. Remind y'all I was only supposed to meet like his parents. That's it. That was all it was supposed to be. So I was like, but in the dream, it seemed like I met your whole entire family in like one night. And he was like, oh, no, it's just gonna be like, just my mama, like, you know.
It was supposed to be.
And, you know, it's just gonna be my mama and my dad. But I think your dad was in the reserve then. Well, he wasn't. I think he was like off on the reserve. So I don't even think I met him on the first initial like meet down to meet your mom.
Nah, I think he was still stationed in Virginia at the time.
I think so.
Yeah. So she came over, you know, had my mama. My mama, of course, she wasn't there, right? She wasn't even there.
No, she wasn't there at first.
Yeah, she wasn't even there. She was going doing something, but you came and she met you for the first time. Then all of a sudden, my brother came over and my cousin came over. Two of my cousins, my aunt came over, my uncle came over. You
it turned into like a whole shindig.
Shindig, like over a couple seconds, like whoa, it's just like bam, bam, bam.
Like, I'm over here looking like a deer in headlights because now I feel like I'm on display. Like, oh Lord, like this man whole family over here. He said it was just gonna be his parents and now the whole family over here. So like now I'm like mad nervous, but trying to like hold my composure and still be cool at the same time, because if you know my mother-in-law, if you know, you know. She gonna have like bukus of questions.
If you know,
and she came with it. She did not hold back. But that's why I love her, because she very open, and so I think that made a difference for me.
Yeah, definitely did. And you know, like I said, you got a big dose of me and my family. Not as much as when I met your you know, I met your mom at church, right?
Yeah, you met her at church for the first time.
Church for the first time. I met a few of your family then.
Yeah, at church.
But I met your mom for the first time at church, and I met your dad at Thanksgiving.
Right, at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
You decided to spend, I want to say that was in our first year, you decided to spend Thanksgiving with me.
I spent Thanksgiving with you. We was together for a second, and I spent Thanksgiving with you and your family. Yeah.
So what did you think about like meeting my dad? Like, what was your initial impression of my dad?
He was just like who is this? Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what up? That's it. That's all I got. What up? Like,
my dad
bro, no fist pound, no nothing.
No, none.
What up?
My dad
kept walking.
Yeah, my dad, he's like a real like laid back person, and like you essentially. Yeah. But you know, he be filling out the room, so he's not gonna be like initially like dapping you up and like, you know, giving hugs and whatnot like your family.
I feel it. You know, it was like, okay, like it is what it is. I understand it, but you know, he the OG though. You know, he's cool though. You know, I got a good relationship with him. So
yeah, y'all do. So it was cool, but like family is always important, and it's always important to make sure like that your family is like, you know, involved with the person that you're gonna be with. To me,
yeah, definitely. So definitely was a situation with me to the family.
Yeah.
So what? Let me ask you something then. Was you nervous
to meet your family?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. At first I wasn't really nervous, but I think the closer it got to meeting them, the more nervous I got, because it was important to me. Like, I wanted to make a good first impression, because your first impression is your impression.
Your impression.
So that's going to initially kind of set the tone for what type of person you're going to be. So for me, it was really important to make a good impression on your mom, and I felt like I did a good job. Yeah. Like, me and my mother-in-law, we tight. So
you know, and you know, if you out there and you're thinking and you get to that point of meeting the family, you know, it's very important to make a good impression. Yeah. Some people don't feel the need to make an impression with family because they feel like, oh, you know, it's just me and you. But you have to understand that this person's family means everything to them. In a sense, especially when you first start dating. Right. It means everything to them. So, you know, you don't want to feel like that you're being put second, but you kind of are until you prove yourself.
To that person's family.
To that person's family and to that person. You know what I'm saying? That you can coincide and get along with the family, and then you can move to number one. And number one is kind of like going into the next episode. Like I said, you got to come back next week.
You got to come back next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to get deeper into what happened after our dating phase, after 2 years of being together, what type of decisions we wanted to make, the things we started to talk about. So in our next week episode, y'all got to come back. It's going to get even juicier. Definitely going to be more tea.
More tea. I mean, like a gallon of tea. So we're going to wrap it up right now. So we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in for this episode. And make sure you come back next week for sure.
Make sure you come back. So make sure y'all tune in every Saturday at noon. We're going to always be dropping new episodes. And make sure y'all follow our pages. And if you got questions, don't be afraid to let us know. So we'll see y'all on the next time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace out.
Peace out.